This conference will now be recorded.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, bro. Hi.
Yeah, hi, hi, bro. Just a minute, I logged in from the DSL.
It's a resound is coming, bro. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, bro. Hi.
Yeah, hi, hi. Sorry, I joined from laptop and mobile both because I lost my power. I don't have charging in laptop. That's the reason.
Oh, that's the reason. Okay. I'm thinking why the class was. I'm so okay. So
Actually,
now,
I have 7 o'clock class also. That just now completed, and
okay,
so I stopped that recording, that meeting, and again logged.
okay. So okay.
Yeah.
Now what I have to do, bro? Like I have to wait for the screen sharing, or
Yeah, yeah. Wait, wait. So,
oh,
do you
okay.
have your setup?
Yeah, I
Do you
got my
want to
setup.
share your screen today? Okay, great.
I mean, yeah, I'm just my this is my third class, so I don't know how to share my screen, everything.
Okay, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So, are you talking about Lineage? So, this AWS class or
I'm talking about the AWS class. So,
Kubernetes?
like how to create my account and how to, just implement all the things you told about. Just create.
Oh, okay, okay. So, I think you are from 7 a.m. batch. So, maybe, so I'll provide you. Can you ping me in WhatsApp so that, so which group you are from?
You said what? Ping me my details in WhatsApp.
Yes, which group you are from? Can you ping in WhatsApp group?
Yeah, sure. I'm in actually 9 p.m. batch, bro. Like,
Yeah, yeah, can you please ping me in
yeah,
WhatsApp?
sure. Definitely. Yeah, I will
So,
ping.
I'll send those details, how to create your account and all. Okay, so
Yeah,
I have one video for that. I'll send. So can you ping me right away so that I'll respond to you. Respond to you.
yeah, yeah. I will ping now. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
Naveen then. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Hi guys.
Hi, good
Hi.
morning.
Hi.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good evening. Okay, so do we have Narendra?
Yes.
Yes.
No, not at Jai. Do we?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's here. He's
you're
here.
there.
Yeah, with your name only.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, I made you as a presenter. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Are you in master now?
Yeah, Cops Master.
Okay, good. Yeah, show me that get notes.
Start recording, please.
It's already started.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so to guys, today's topic is storage concept. Uh, so like how storage works here. So what types of storages we do have. So can you go back to my document? So I'm sorry, I don't have right away laptop with me. So I joined from my mobile because of power cut. DevOps class notes. Second line, second one, DevOps class notes. Then go to Kubernetes.
This one?
Yeah. So yes, that one. Open it.
I have already opened.
So come down. So at the end, somewhere you will have storage stuff. Or else do one thing. Wait. The top itself. Open the top one. You have one links. You have one link. You should have one storage link. Just a minute. I'll tell you which one it is. Yes, that one. The exact. Yes. Open it. Hmm. Come down. I think not this one. Just scroll down. Let's see. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. No, not this one. Go back. Go back to the document. Come down. Okay, go to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Slowly, slowly. Wait, wait. That one, first one. Open that one. Yeah, open that link. Okay. Okay, guys. There are two types of storages in Kubernetes. One is empty directory, one more is persistent volume. So I'll tell you the difference. So empty directory is nothing but come down, come down, come down. In deploy in while creating the deployment file, you have this volume file. Just a minute, guys. Okay. So while creating the pod, while creating the deployment, okay, so I have to give this empty directory information. So this directory will be created, this volume will be created, and with the pod, and your pod data, your pod, whatever the application data, you can store everything there. But if you delete your pod, this directory also will be deleted completely. You will lose your data if you delete your pod. That is what MTDR, so MTDR concept. Okay, let's see how to create it. So go back to your deployment file. Can you open your deployment file?
Yes, not great.
So MTDR is a temporary kind of volume, not temporarily. Maybe so it will be created. Just remember one word. It will be created with pod and it will be deleted with pod itself. So guys, actually you can create your pod directly without deployment also. But what is the difference? If I create a pod with deployment, if I create a pod without deployment, what will happen? Anybody? What is the use of deployment?
We can manage pods.
Exactly. So it will, if the pod is deleted, a deployment will recreate it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If you don't have deployment for a pod, what will happen?
It won't create.
Exactly, it won't recreate it. If something happened to pod, actually, I think in the backend screen, in the document you are seeing, can you go back? Not here, not here. The browser you opened, right? One link. See, here he is using, is creating a pod, not deployment. Directly is creating a pod,
Oh yeah, pods. Yeah.
right? So he's
Mhm.
not creating a deployment. So it's up to you. If you want to, again, if something happened to pod, if you want to come back, I mean, if you want to make it come back, then you should go with deployment, not with pod, right?
Yeah.
So copy the same one. We'll see that part also.
Okay. In the same deployment file.
Maybe you can create one more, na? Just pod.yml, va.pod.yml. Name can be anything, right? Why again unnecessarily remove that stuff?
Okay.
Insert mode. Now go back to just copy paste.
From starting hours, yeah. So maybe
Here.
version.
Wait. Let me explain this first of all. Can someone try to explain this, guys? What exactly, what information you have in this file? Again, divide it. You can, it will be easy. So until spec, one part. Highlight the until spec, before the spec.
Yeah.
Can you explain what is this? So kind is pod. So you're
Yeah.
naming it.
Name is my volume -pod.
That is your pod name.
Pod name. Yeah.
Yeah. The first part is done.
Yeah.
Now the second part.
part.
So do we have selector part here?
No.
No.
Do we need selector part? No, actually, because there is
Yeah.
no deployment.
Yeah, there is no deployment.
Yeah.
Second part is creating container. Image is Alpine.
Yes. Image. You're using Alpine image. If not image pull policy. So image pull policy, I have to check that. Maybe some option. Okay. So naming, you are giving it to your container, my volume container. Okay. So and you want to run some command like while creating the container. So what is this command? Echo the bench container one is running. Just a message you want to print.
Right.
But you can give any other command also if required. You want to run some command, those command you can give. Now here, first highlight the volumes part, not that one. Below volumes part is there, right? Yeah. Here what this command will do mean, it will create a volume called date demo hyphen volume. So it is a mtdr type. That is what this meaning. So now I'm creating, it's not available, it's not existing. I'm creating just now while creating the pod itself. The demo hyphen volume, that is the volume name. Okay, so I'm creating, what is the type? mtdr. What is the purpose of mtdr? Guys, what is the
To
purpose?
extend the pod. If
That's fine, but like what is the purpose? So mtdr, if you go with mtdr volume, it will be created with pod and will be deleted with pod itself. Whatever the data you saved in this volume, it won't be persisted. Remember that word. Okay. So now you created this, and in the above part, that volumes mount part, highlight the volume mounts part. No, not the volume mounts.
volume mount.
Immediately to that, yes. Highlight the volumes part. Here what I am saying, whatever the volume I created below, I'm adding it into like my container as slash demo. So maybe can you copy this pod file so that you can understand? I'll show you. Yeah, copy the entire pod volume. Open your putty session. Paste it. Okay, now save this. Escape. Okay, now apply kubectl. Apply -f pod.yml. Enter. Okay, now second kubectl get pods. Get deployments. Deployment spelling wrong.
I think namespace.
See, deployment did not created. If something happened to this part, what will happen now? It won't come back because there is no deployment. Can you try once? kubectl get sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, what's the pod's name? We have created the pod, but what's the pod name? My volume pod?
Yes, exactly. So while in the pod definition, it is there.
Oh yeah, we
See, my
given the name my volume pod. Yeah.
yes. So that name only it will come here.
Okay, and no deployment created. Yeah.
Yeah. So try to delete your pod. It won't come back now. kubectl delete pod name. Best practice is copy paste.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
missing something.
that's not the correct one.
Always that is the best practice.
General we used to do. But
Yeah, so do it.
S- So what's the purpose of creating just pod instead of pod and deployment? Because that's the best practice to create a deployment and pod, right?
Yes, you are right. Maybe if it is not a critical application, so you have an option. If at all like you want to do that, you can create. The best
Okay.
practice is deployment only. Maybe I want to create temporary purpose. Only I want to test something. I want to show you some empty directory concept now.
Okay.
So directly I'm creating pod instead of deployment. I don't want to recreate it.
Yeah, that's not.
See, the pod gone. It won't recreate because you don't have deployment, right? So that is the main purpose of deployment. So I hope now, guys, you understood the deployment very clearly.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now recreate that pod again. Same command, apply command. This is the usage of files. So I think someone asked, why should I go with files? So again, if it is in a command line, all those options, my container name, again, I do have some less options also in command line. You have to find out all those options. If it is a file, I no need to worry about the options, what options I have selected earlier and all, right? Directly I can rerun it. Okay, you created a pod now. Can you log into your pod? How can I log in? kubectl execute -it, your pod name, -- space, space, -- space, /bin/bash. Even I'm not sure what is that --. I have to check that. That's a syntax. So only it's similar to again Docker container login, right? Same concept. Just use sh instead of bin bash.
yeah.
Yeah. So it seems that bin bash is not available. Okay, no problem. Now clear the screen. You're in your container now. You're in a pod is nothing but you're in a container now. So can you do df-h? So whatever the directory you mapped, df space -h. Yeah, somewhere /demo. Fourth entry. Yes. See, this is the volume you attached. /demo. So actually, if you go back to that pod file, go to that pod file, that web directory, I mean web URL. Bottom. So I created a volume name called demo-volume first. Highlight the volume parts. So I created a volume name called demo-volume, and above to that, highlight the above part. Here as part, no, I only highlight the above part. Don't highlight both. So here I'm attaching that same volume as /demo into my container. That is what this meaning. Guys, did you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So while creating pod, I'm creating a demo-volume empty directory type storage, and that's extra volume concept. So in Docker also we have the same concept, right? Docker volume concept. extra volume I can attach. So that is what you are doing. Extra volume you are attaching to your your pod slash demo.
Then
Okay. So if
by
you
default it
do,
will be, sorry, by default it will be 2.5 GB.
no, not like that. Go back. So one,
109.
Used it total.
so actually it will take it from your main disk.
Oh.
Okay, so that's what. If you see the main disk, that size also same,
Yeah.
119.3 GB.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you CD to that slash demo something? You can create your files there. But what I told you, by default, like whatever the data you store here will be deleted if you delete your pod. You won't actually, the data won't be persistent, temporary purpose. If you delete your pod, if something corrupted in your pod, gone, your data gone. Okay, it's up to you. If at all I want to go with persistent, you can go with persistent value. Now see, let's see how to make it persistent. And one more thing I want to show you, how can I build multiple containers? That is also there in the same stuff. Come down, same the URL. Come down, come down, come down, come down. Yeah, see guys, one more example. In the single pod, I can create multiple containers. Come down. Can you copy this to your again one more pod file? So most probably we don't do it, guys. Most probably we don't do it in a single pod, but there is a chance we can make it. It is the like the possibility is there.
Yeah.
So here, can you guys explain what exactly we are doing? Just scroll up. First, highlight the first part. Always make it
Creating pod.
separate. Yes, we are creating a pod called my volume hyphen pod. The same name won't work out because already you have one pod with the same name. Just make it some differences. My volumes one, my hyphen pod, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Next, creating container with image
Yeah.
alpha.
So exactly. So again, I'm giving name my volume hyphen container part. So up to that part, up to volume mounts one container. Again, one more container with same option only, but naming I am giving different name. And the
Demo.
same volume, demo hyphen volume itself, I'm attaching to first container as a slash demo one, second container as a slash demo two, third container, just directory name I'm giving separate. That's different. That's it. Volume, same volume only I'm attaching. So three containers I'm running in a single pod, guys. See. So again, here also empty there. Just now save it. Now create a pod. Up kubectl apply fnf.
My container.
Yeah. So now I have how many containers
3.
in that part?
Three.
3 containers, not one. You can see that. Okay. So it won't show under DFFNH.
Container. We have to log into container.
Yeah, login.
Now, how can I log into 3 containers? If you go to that URL, you have the same command only. One -C option is extra. Go to that URL. You have the option how to log into each container. Come down. Come down. This is the command. So here -C, my pod name. Sorry, kubectl execute my pod name -C, my volume. Sorry, my container name. Then -IT. That's fine. Your pod name is different. Huh? Okay, my container -pod. Yeah, good. Now -C, my container name. -IT, you can give it at the end also. -. Then your shell prompt. Enter.
Just a minute.
I guess we can just
Spelling wrong.
only slash.
It's saying that pod name is wrong. What is the pod name you given?
Just
So A is not there actually.
my
No,
volume.
in the there itself you can check that. Why you are opening the file? So you can check it in my pod get pods also, right?
Yes.
Yeah. kubectl get pods.
My container.
My
A is
container
missing.
TINER.
Okay.
Yeah,
TNE.
you given a wrong name, but that's fine. Anyway, you created a container, right? Give the
Right.
same name. Pod name also same. No, pod name you given wrong actually here.
Yeah. Right.
Container name is
My
correct only. Pod
container
name.
Yes, TINER.
Remove that A. Enter now. Yeah. Now you are in a first container. So guys, remember, just a minute. Okay, I'm sorry guys. So remember this guys, in a pod, I can maintain any number of containers. Okay, so if you have only one container, just a minute guys. Yeah, so if you have one container, what is the command? Simply kubectl execute -IT pod name, then -, then bin bash or bin sh. If you have multiple containers in a single pod, you have to use this command, above command, -C option you have to use. So that is the difference. So here, this is what empty directory concept, guys. What is mtdr means? Mtdr concept means, so an additional volume you are attaching to your pod, but that volume will be gone, that data will be gone, even with pod. If you delete your pod, the data also will be gone. That is what mtdr concept. Now can just exit. Now do this command. So this is that command. So get pods -move wide.
Our container one means we are logged into container one, right?
Exactly.
So if you want to log in 2 or 3, we need to change the 2 or 3, right?
Exactly. The container names we have given in my pod details. In my pod file, so I given the name. So by using those names, I logged into my containers. Okay? Yeah.
We didn't give any names, right?
We given
I mean,
in the pod file. In the pod file, it is there. Can you open your pod file, Narendra? Maybe in the web URL.
the earlier
Scroll
command,
up.
this command cube ctl execute command. So we will log into where we are logging to which container.
We are logging into pod. In the first
Okay,
part, you are
pod.
saying for the first time.
No. The 3 containers we are. So we are logging to pod. Then so separately we will log into containers, right?
Exactly, you're right.
Please show
So
me that.
if yes, can you show me the command again? If you use up arrow, here I'm giving my container name also. See, my volumes hyphen container hyphen one. That is your container name. That is your pod name, first one,
Okay.
and the second one is your container name. Okay, so you're logging into your container now by running this command.
Okay, we need to
If you
change
want to
the
log in second, yeah, so you have to change the name.
Okay.
The second container name you have to give. Yeah, change it
The
and log in.
images we are using Docker images, right?
Yeah, obviously. Container concept means
So
Docker image only.
yes, if we want to use our customized image, then the same process
Yes.
be
Yes, you
created
can
in
use
Docker.
exactly. So can you go back to your notes again one more time? Instead of that Alpine image, you have to use some other, whatever the customized image you have. That
Yeah,
image name you have to use.
earlier in Docker we created one CentOS or Ubuntu image, and we installed Git and we named that Ubuntu hyphen Git the image name,
Yes.
and
Yes. So those images also you can use.
we can use, right?
Yes, exactly. So again, Alpine is also taking from, you don't have that Alpine image in your local actually. Before you're downloading it from Docker Hub only. So again, guys, Kubernetes is completely depends on Docker.
Yeah,
Same
first
as Docker
we
only.
install
But
Docker, right? On top of Docker, we install Kubernetes.
exactly. Yes,
So
exactly.
in that Docker, is it possible? So first we installed in Docker, right? In that Docker, we created our customized images, and we can use that images. Is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. But generally, we are using one purpose means we don't use the other purpose in the same machine.
Okay.
Okay, so this is completely for Kubernetes. So generally we don't go with Docker images here. So you will separately have one Docker host. There you will set up your images and you will push it to Docker Hub. And that image you are pulling it from here. Generally that is the best practice. You are using one server for one purpose means we don't use the same server for one more purpose. That's not the best practice.
In the same way, can we use the Docker volumes also? Is it possible?
No, again, so we are using Kubernetes here. How come Docker volumes can be used? So if you want
Means
to go with the Docker volumes, okay, so that's what these volumes concept again separate for Kubernetes. The same way
so how
how you
can
are
we
creating.
retrieve data from Docker volumes to Kubernetes volumes. See, we already we have image customized in Docker, and the same image we have volumes for that image in Docker. So we just pull means we just pull that image from Docker host, and what about the volume according to means
Okay. Yes, good question. So, Narendra, can you open your laptop? Sorry, Paint machine once.
Okay.
I'll show you one example clearly for this. Good question, Alika. So, yes. So, open your Paint. So, first, let's talk about Docker. Open your Paint, maximize it. Just one square box first, one big EC2, that is Docker host. Okay, this is your Docker host, and just draw one container inside it, little big, little big. Okay, this is your container. Just assume that, and here, like I do have default storage. Apart from that, I want to attach one more value. Okay, so for this container to store my application data and all. No, don't write one more stuff here.
Okay.
Just delete that extra one. So here for volume concept, I don't use the default storage. Okay, what I will do from from AWS, I will attach one volume. Okay, I hope you are there in AWS class, right?
no, I'm not there in AWS.
Okay, so what I can do to this EC2 instance, I can attach one more volume. Okay, one more storage device. So by default, you will get one storage, one device, one hard disk into my EC2 instance. And apart from that, I will add one more value to my EC2 instance, and that volume I will attach it to. So that volume I will attach it to my Docker container. So what will happen means the same volume I can pick it from here. That hard disk I'm talking about. Okay, whatever the volumes you attached, right? Maybe I'll show you quickly. Can you go back to your EC2 instance? Sorry, EC2 dashboard. How to attach a new value? Go to yes. So which is your, do you have any Docker host now? Anybody has, can you launch quickly one EC2 instance? Launch EC2. Anybody has your OS right away? Ready, guys? I want to show the volume concept. Guys, anybody? Okay, launch it, no problem. With Red Hat. So which OS you selected?
Ubuntu.
Okay, just select CentOS or Red Hat.
Okay.
Go with CentOS. Open the first one, 298 results. Select the first one. Yes. Select yes. Next. Review and launch. Continue and review and launch. Launch. Select your own key. No, wait.
Oh.
Is that key available for you?
No.
You should be very careful while creating. The key should be available, right? Then only
Yes.
you can log in. You should carefully select your key. Again, recreate one more OS.
Okay.
So guys, nobody has Docker host now? Not Kubernetes.
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Select CentOS. So actually Docker host can be anything, but my comfort is CentOS. That's the reason I'm selecting CentOS. It's up to you. If you want to go with Ubuntu, you can go with that. Continue. Review and launch. Select your key which is available.
Okay.
Log into it, install Docker. This was the old one. The above one, in middle, in one more is initializing. I think that is the one you're just log into that. So just assume that this is my Docker host. Okay, here, like what I will do when I create a container, I'll get the storage from the default storage, right? So apart from that, I can create one more volume and I can attach it to it. Even that volume also from Docker host available from the first default storage itself, right? So just you created a directory and that directory itself you are attaching to your container. But apart from that, what I can do, I can attach one more hard disk to my EC2 instance first. Then on top of it, that I can create a directory. Yeah, sudo space -a. Sudo space -a. Do lsblk. So see here, I do have only one hard disk. So in that partition is there. So that hard disk is now mounted and slash. Mounted or mapped with slash. In the same way, guys, in Windows also, how many hard disks you would have, guys?
One.
Only one internal hard disk.
Logically,
Yes, you're partitioning like C drive, first partition. Again, partition is nothing but disk only. Logically, in one disk you are doing multiple disks. First disk you are mapping with C drive, second disk D drive, third disk E drive, something like that, right? So here the same way, so the first disk XVDA1, so you have only one disk. That disk you mapped with forward slash. Now forward slash is called as drive. Okay, so drive is nothing but file system. Now when you create a directory now, so any directory, it will be under this disk only, right? That directory itself you are mapping with your container. I hope you are aware of Docker volume concept, right? You are creating a directory, and that directory you are mapping it with your container. So obviously this directory, whatever the volume you are creating, it's part of the first disk itself, right? So what I will do instead of that, now go back to EC2. Let's create a new volume. Left hand. First of all, find out. So it is an US East, which availability zone it is. US East 2B. There in the same line you can see that. US East 2B. C2 instance line itself. You selected it already. It's there. It's there. No. Just left arrow. I mean, keep it left. Fourth, which field? Second, third, fourth. Yes. Your EC2 instance is available in US East 2B. Now go to volumes. So volume is nothing but hard disk. Okay, so I'm creating one more hard disk, and that hard disk I'm going to attach it to my EC2 instance. So extra hard disk I'm attaching. So create volume. Select, maybe take 10 GB. So why unnecessarily 100 GB? How much you need, you have to take. Here example only, right? So I'm taking 10 GB. Calm down. Name it. So to just understand, identify. Here itself. Come down. You have tag option, right? Add tag. Name. NAME. No. NAME. So this is a key. N should be caps. Take N caps. Right hand side, give the name. Okay, Docker volume, something like whatever you need, you want to name it. Yeah, create volume. Because you have lots of volumes. To identify easily, you have to name it. Now close it. So guys, I'm attaching a new hard disk now. So I don't want to take a default hard disk. Yeah, select that. Actions. There itself, you have actions button. So attach volume. Select your EC2 instance. Which is your scops master, sorry, Docker host. Is it the one? Select it. I think that is the one. Attach it. Now, if you go to your Docker host, go to Docker host. Do lsblk again. lsblk. Yes. See, I got new disk again, but I cannot use it directly. I should map one directory, like how you are mapping C drive, D drive, E drive to the disk. In the same way, here also, the first disk already mapped with slash. So create one directory, mkdir slash app, any directory. Yeah, enter. Your wish, guys. Any directory I can, it should be empty. So I created new directory now under slash. So slash app created. Okay, it's up to you. You can create slash db, slash app1, slash app2. Whatever you want to create, you can create. It should be empty. I'm again telling you that it should be, the directory should be empty. You can take existing also, but it should be empty to map it with any hard disk. Now, one more thing also there. I should format it. MKFS dot, because the hard disk is brand new. So I should make it in Linux format now. MKFS dot ext4. That is the type of file system. So do you know what is the file system type for Windows, guys? It is NTFS. In the same way for Linux, it's ext4 space your device name. Full path you have to give. /dev/xvdf space. Hello? Hello? Narendra?
Narendra, I guess. We cannot hear you, Narendra. Narendra, you there?
He's showing offline now.
Oh,
So Malika, what we can do means this new hard disk I'm mapping with slash app. Now slash app is also a volume only, not directly. Okay, just a minute. Okay, this new directory, whatever the file system. So what is the difference between directory and a file system? So if I ask you what is D drive, what you will say? What is the difference between directory and drive? Hmm. Directory and drive and entity. So drive means if you map a, a directory with a device, that is called as drive. Both are same only. A directory can be a drive. One of the directory you are giving. So under that directory, whatever you place, so that data will be available in that new volume, in that hard disk. Now, what you will do means you will format this disk and you will map that disk with slash app. Okay, now slash app is called as drive. A slash app is called as file system. Maybe it is a directory also again. So this slash app I will map with my container. And now onwards, whatever the data you save in your slash app directory will be available in this new hard disk, XVDF. Okay. So that is your container data. So did you understand that concept?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I will do, for the same volume, I can create a like a one more replica. One more volume I can create. First of all, I can take a backup of that volume. Okay, from that backup, I can create one more volume. That volume I will attach to my Kubernetes. So I'll get the data. Now, are you clear? How can I get the container data?
Yeah, if we want that data, then from Kubernetes we will take that volume. We will map that direct data
Exactly.
volume.
Exactly. Whatever the volume you have your data, container data, right? That volume you will map it to your Kubernetes. So, and that volume from Kubernetes you will attach it to your container.
Yeah, the same volume we can means we can use in Docker and Kubernetes, right? Or only.
No, by default it is EBS can be attached to only one EC2 at the same time.
Okay.
So what I can do means, so like I'll create one more backup. I can create one more volume from the same volume.
Okay.
I don't use the same volume. Okay. So I'll create one more replica. So whatever so in AWS, you created one volume, right? The disk. So I can create a backup for that. From that backup, again, I can create one more volume. So the
Okay.
same data will be available now. Whatever you had earlier in that disk, the first disk, the same data will be available in the new disk also. That new disk, I will attach it to my Kubernetes. So I'll get the container data.
Okay.
Now,
I
did you
understood.
understand?
Yes, yes, I understood.
Okay. Okay, great. So actually, that is what persistent value. Instead of empty directory, okay, so I should connect with persistent volume. So actually, I thought of showing today itself, but nobody has that setup. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's wait for 2 more minutes. Okay, guys, everything is interrelated. If you don't understand Docker, you cannot understand Kubernetes also. So I'm telling to everybody. So if you don't practice, you cannot understand. Every topic is important.
Amar, one more question, but
Yes.
don't think that it is silly question. Just I want to
Hey, no
know.
problem. Yes, yes, definitely. So I need questions. Even
See,
if you ask silly question, also not a problem. Yes, tell me. Always
if
you have to talk.
yes,
Yes, tell me.
See, Naren, he created some EC2 instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to use, if he wants to share, or if I want to use that same instance, how it is possible to me?
Come again. I didn't understand your question.
See, Naren, he created some EC2 instance, right? Like a Docker or
Mm-hmm.
Kubernetes. So
Mm-hmm.
how I will use that instance from my laptop? Is it possible?
Okay. Yes, definitely. If it is like again, security group is there, right? In security group, if we allow you, okay, so your network address you have to give it to Narendra. Okay,
Okay.
Narendra has to allow you like that port number to connect to my Linux box. Which port is required? 22 port is required,
Okay.
right? So the
Uh-huh.
22 port he has to allow for your network. By default, the 22 port will be allowed to everybody. But in real time, we don't allow. We'll remove it to, we'll give it only for our office network. Because that is only for office purpose, right? Putty, why I should log into, so anytime have you logged into YouTube Linux server or Windows server?
No.
No, right? Customers doesn't need that. Only that organization people will use that putty session to log into the Linux boxes or Windows boxes to wherever my applications is running. In the same way, if you are from if you are from the same organization, definitely you are in the same network, right? But
Yes.
sometimes customers also may require, some situations might be there. Let's assume that I am from one organization, you are from different organization. Okay, but still, like sometimes there is a chances like you have to access my Linux box. In that case, what I have to do, I have to like uh, uh, allow your network in my security groups, and you should be in private public network. Your network should be. Then only I can. So you have to provide your public network, and that network I will allow from my security group whatever the ports you need. If you want to access Linux box, I'll give 22. If you want to access only the application which is available in my Linux box, then I will open that application related port. So you can access my application.
Okay, see, if he gave, if I will take the public ID of, see, if I copy that public ID means Naren's
Public
public
IP.
ID, that is public IP, and if I try to log in from my public section, what will happen?
If it is, if the network is allowed, if the port, the 22 port is allowed to you, you can log in. Even if you have credentials, IP address also, if that network is not allowed, you cannot log in.
Okay.
That is
That,
what security group.
Security. That is what he needs to manage, right?
Exactly. Whoever is managing AWS account. So how many
Okay.
servers you have? So if it is, just assume that Narendra is AWS admin or DevOps admin. He is managing this account. So he should know that to whom he has to provide the access. What type of access?
Okay.
Okay, that port numbers. That is what port numbers are very important. So
If by
to access
default,
my
that
Linux box,
by default,
tell me.
we create our EC2 install. By default, we have this default port number 22. Is it sufficient
Yes,
or
exactly. No, actually, so that is what by default the 22 port is enabled for everybody. You have to change it. You have to give
okay.
only your network address range, so that
Okay.
that EC2 instance will be accessed by only from your network. So
Okay.
if everybody can agree, so there are chances for hacking. If you allow others, you should
Okay.
not allow
Then,
everybody.
so how can we change
Yes.
that? Means because
Again,
we don't
same. Go
know
to security
anything about
groups.
port numbers and.
That's what you should know that. You should know that. So because these are the default port numbers, right? You should remember that. Go to
No,
EC2.
2280 we can know, but how can we secure our ECT? Suppose Naren he is presenting here. No, I can take that ID means that public IP
That
address.
okay. Just a minute. I'll show you once. Can you go to your EC2 Docker host, Narendra? Click on running instance. Select
Okay.
your EC2 instance. Here at the time of creation, okay, now he is sharing his screen. But why, how come if you are not from my organization, why I will share the screen to you, right? Again,
Yes,
let's
yes, but
assume that you randomly pick one IP address. That is definitely somewhere it is available. But
yes.
how can I restrict you means select your EC2, go to security groups, select inbound rules, select inbound rules. Wait, bottom it's there. Yeah. Now click on edit inbound rules. See, already the 22 port is by default enabled to everybody, all zeros. Right hand side, you can see the next one. So all zeros means everybody. That is the reason everybody is able to log in. Here I have to make it. Just click on custom again. Select custom. Here itself. Custom. Custom itself. Now you have to enter your office network here. Okay,
in
you
my
are
IP means
definitely
only
every
for
yes.
my IP
My
means
IP
only
means
from
Narendra IP.
only,
Here,
only from
whoever
laptop
is
only.
open exactly. Your office, sorry, your main network. Your sorry, your from where you connected that network. My IP means that public IP.
Okay.
Custom means again here instead of all zeros, Narendra has to provide his office network range. So only whenever he connected to office network, he can access, he can log in. Now even if now Malika is from some other network. Okay. So even you have your so my IP address and my credentials also you cannot log in now. It will throw network error. This is how I can secure. Got it
Aman,
now?
can we add multiple IP addresses here?
Yes, definitely. You can add one more line, one more rule for the same thing. So any the same port I can add one number of times. One more rule I have to add. Yeah, like this. Okay. So only these allowed networks will be allowed for 22 port. Only they can do putty session. Others cannot do putty now because I am allowing only this network. Okay. So by default it will be everybody. You have to change it to only the particular network, to secure network. Okay. Now make it all again. Anywhere. Select anywhere. But don't do it in real time, guys. It should not be anywhere. Okay, so based on application, if the application required by everybody, then I should give anywhere. Okay, so whatever required, only we have to provide. If youtube.com, if they don't allow us the whatever the port number they are using, whatever the application they are using, so can we use youtube.com? No, right?
No.
Like that. So based on the requirement, you have to follow. Which should be allowed, which should not be allowed, you should know that. Okay, now go back to your EC2 instance. I'm sorry, guys. My lab, sorry, I joined from my mobile because of the power cut. It's about to end. I don't know when it will be end. So I think we are okay. Let's go back to your Docker host quickly. Yeah, mkfs.ext4 space the device name /dev/xvdf, the new disk name /dev/xvdf. So I'm formatting. Enter. Now map this directory, this new disk with that /app directory. Mount. So I'm creating a drive now. In the same way, how C drive, D drive. In Linux, I'm creating a drive now. /dev/xvdf /dev/xvdf space the directory name, the drive name, which directory I want to map. Okay, I created /app directory already. Now can you do lsblk? lsblk also will show you the drive names. See, the new disk is mapped with /app directory now. Now this volume I will attach to my container. Can you do docker run -dat? Good. So -v /app -v for volume. So guys, it's very important. The old topics you should not forget. -v /app : / again any directory in container /app your image name space image name anything / maybe CentOS. Enter. You did not install Docker actually.
Yes, yeah.
Do install Docker quickly. YQM install Docker. Install space Docker and start the service. Yes. Now start the Docker systemctl. Guys, be in mute.
systemctl enable Docker.
Yeah, now run the container. Up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. So here what I am doing, I'm mapping /app directory to the container, and everybody, your data will be available in /app only. You will store your data in /app only. And now I want to go with Kubernetes. Okay, so in that case, what I will do, whatever the volume you are using here, the same volume. So go back to your AWS console. What is your volume name? Go to volumes. Go to your volumes. Select that volume. First, create a snapshot. Snapshot is nothing but kind of backup, guys. So give any name, maybe so and so backup disk, something like that. Again, name also add tag required. Below add tag is option is there, right? Add tag. Just name it NAME. Always that is the best practice, guys. Provide the tag and create snapshot. Snapshot is nothing but kind of photo. Whatever the data you have right away in that hard disk. Okay, it will take a backup. Only till now, while till creation. Now close it. Now go to volumes. Sorry, snapshots under the volumes. See, snapshot is got created. It's an image. Just it's a kind of a photo. Now go select that snapshot. Select actions. Actions. Create volume. And same location. So in which location your Kubernetes server is there? Okay, that location you have to select here. That availability zone. Then that's it. The same volume. Yeah, I think 2B, your COPS master, your Kubernetes servers. Now I hope Malika, your doubt is clear. How can I get the same data from
Yes,
Docker
yes.
to Kubernetes?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
so this volume, yeah, no problem. So this volume now I can map it with my Kubernetes. So that topic I'll show you tomorrow. That is what persistent volume. Okay, so first one what I did from the same whatever the storage available in my Docker post, sorry, in Kubernetes worker node, the same disk only I'm mapping. But now I'm taking the disks, additional disk for extra storage. Okay, so that is what persistent volume, guys. Again, we'll make it this class tomorrow. So it's enough for today. Okay, now guys.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Anyone want to create instance?
Yeah, because guys, every day Narendra only doing, so you might be charged.
Amar, I will take it.
So who is that?
Adish.
Yes, please. Thank you very much
One,
for
two
your
worker
effort.
nodes and one master node, right?
Yes, you have to go with COPS method, not direct method. I showed two methods,
Oh,
right? You have to go with COPS method.
COPS method. Okay, I'll try that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay then, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
We'll
Thank you,
begin
sir.
tomorrow. Same. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.